So, as always, we'll keep it uh, short and sweet, as I wrote, because I think it's better to have quality than quantity. Sometimes both are needed, but mostly that. So first, I'll do a quick chant. We'll just do an invocation of Lord Ganesha, and then I will look at all of you like I always like to do. Just want to make sure you're all dressed right for the occasion, and then we'll uh, start, and then we'll end. So, Om वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. ओम श्रीमन महागणाधिपतये नमः. ओम श्री मात्रे नमः. First of all, I offer my obeisance to the divine in you, with whose grace we are all here right now, this moment. Narayani Namostute. So, वो एक भजन था ना, जी भर के देखा ना कुछ बात की, बड़ी आरज़ू थी मुलाकात की. So let me first look at all of you, and I'm going to on my screen I can see many of you, so I will just go to the next screen and the next one until I've seen all of you before we start. It's lovely to see you all. It always baffles me that I see you waving. I see the Badrika Ashram team sitting there, everybody in that meditation hall. I see some Wilder team members, some BSF team members as well. So I was saying it always baffles me that some of you have known me for so long, and says you want to switch to um, for so long that still, even after a decade or 14 years or less or more, you still show up. मैं आपकी जगह होता तो आता ना, but you guys do. It's very kind of you. It's very sweet of you. So adorable. It always reminds me this famous thing I've said in the past as well, right? In a couple of my discourses. मेरे दिल में बस रहे हैं तेरे बेपनाह जलवे, जिसमें ना हो नूर तेरा वो चिराग ही बुझा दूं. So lovely to see you all. I'm going through the various screens. On each screen there's there are like 40 screens to go through. So I've gone through 1/4. I hope wherever you are in the world, you are taking care of yourselves and each other and continuing to do a bit of sadhana. Somebody's sitting in a beautiful study room. I see all the books, uh, very lovely, all white. Oh, somebody's holding a cat. Right. It's always good to have multiple species join the discourses. Families are sitting. If I could, I would have taken every single person's name, but I am looking at all of you. And in my mind, I'm reading almost all the names. till date, I don't know why. Um, I mean, we have this beautiful bond, a guru-disciple bond, of course, goes without saying. But it, like I was saying, it still baffles me um, why you have the sentiments you have for me. But I just want you to know it means a lot to me. Wouldn't be an overstatement if I said that it means everything to me. Okay, so I've gone through all the people. Now all I see are names. So I'll just go back to the screens. So what I have for you today is something actually pretty straightforward. That's why in my post I wrote it would be something short and sweet. So I finished writing my book, 13 Months in the Himalayas, and it's been submitted to the publisher as well already. So I thought what I could do is read the first chapter from that book. And this is like what I actually did while I was in the Himalayas, and what kind of sadhanas I did, how I filled, what filled my days, and so on. So this chapter will probably take 7 to 8 minutes, and that will pretty much be the whole length of this event, the duration of this event. After that, I'm just going to see you again one more time, and then that will be that. The reason is, I mean, I could keep on talking and you could keep on listening, but this book uh, is, in a way, it's my life's work in terms of the sadhana. When I wrote my memoir, as you know, there was my life before renouncing and after renouncing. But this one is only and only about the time I spent in the Himalayas. And if all goes fine, then this book will be out by the end of this year. If if not, then maybe early next year at the latest. And the manuscript is already with the publisher now. So are you up for it? Should I go ahead, read it? If you can just give me a thumbs up. Okay, that's good then. Thank you. So I'm going to read out the prologue for you. That's pretty much the opening of this book. No matter whether whether you want to burn down a forest or light a matchstick, it starts with a spark. I'll start it again because I stumbled on the very first line. No matter whether you want to burn down a forest or light a matchstick, it starts with a spark. We all have it in us, the spark. It may be dormant, slumbering under the burden of life, or it may be crushed under self-doubt, but it's there, the spark of madness. And it's up to you to turn this spark of madness into a raging wildfire before it is snuffed out by our fears and the naysayers around. The challenge, therefore, is not so much to find it as much as it is to not let it die. And that's pretty much all I'd been trying to do on my spiritual quest. Keep the spark alive. I always wondered why my mantra sadhana was not yielding the results promised in the scriptures. Like the gambler who couldn't quit in the hope of making up for his losses, I kept pressing the buttons of sadhana. Maybe one day, all 5 images on the canvas of my consciousness will be of Divine Mother and the jackpot would light up, I thought. After all, my guru, Naga Baba, had once said to me, अंधेरे में भी पत्थर मारते रहेंगे, कभी तो निशाने पर लगेगा. If you keep shooting in the dark, it might just hit the target for once. Once. That's the key word. You only need to be right once on the path of sadhana. If you're right even once, it will change you forever. A bowler only needs one good ball to get a batsman out. It can take a lifetime of preparation, however, to get that once right. While I grew up like any other child with hopes and dreams, what I really wanted was to understand the purpose of my life, if there was one. Why was I here? Having been exposed to mantras since childhood, I'd been drawn to the path of sadhana, and that was my spark. Material growth and success, though they were not easy to come by, felt like a child's play in front of sadhana. Atmanev Atmana Tushta Sthit Pragyasta Tuchate, says Krishna. The one who abides in one's own consciousness is the one gone beyond. My own inner ocean of bliss never quite proved to be inadequate. I was a lone polar bear roaming about in an endless field of snow. My spark of sadhana, my spark of madness was to trade material wealth for spiritual treasures. I was desperate to know if one could still realize the highest truth known to mankind as revealed in the Vedas. The burning desire to experience a persistent state of superconsciousness, to play in the lap of Divine Mother, had consumed me completely. I knew that one day my body would not have the same energy or my mind might not have the same zeal, so I always operated with a sense of urgency. When I was 30 years old, I walked away from everything and everyone to pursue the path of sadhana. I left behind everyone I loved and everything I'd built like I didn't care. And I didn't. Every moment of the 13 months I spent in the Himalayas were filled with despair and earnestness. 10 years after penning down my memoir, if truth be told, here I am, as promised, with a book to fill in the blanks. No, not filling the long gap of 10 years, but the blanks of my 13 months in the Himalayas. The book you currently hold in your blessed hands is not a handbook on how to do sadhana, but a travelogue of sorts. Mind you, it took me 7 years to write this book. I started working on it in July 2017, soon after giving my word to HarperCollins that I would hand them the manuscript that detailed my routine of 13 months in the Himalayas. Writing this work wasn't hard, except for the one chapter, the 18th chapter, Storm Before the Calm. I sat on it for 7 years. Yes, 7 years. My experience of the Supreme Consciousness was so elaborate and transformational that I guarded it for the longest while. I kept writing the other chapters, but the 18th. And then, from 2019 to 2024, it took me 6 stints of solitude. I spent most of my time in solitude to scribble that one chapter. I would write a couple of sentences, and my consciousness would be transported to that day all over again. My eyes would brim with tears, and I would be blissed out. And it was impossible to write one more word for the rest of the day. On many days, I lost complete hope that I would ever be able to set down my vision. So many of you have asked me to speak about that vision on numerous occasions, and believe me, I had no personal agenda in not sharing it with you. But I knew that I had to carefully and gradually let it out of my system. You can donate several bottles of blood over the course of your life, but you can't do it all in one go, no matter how eager or fit you may be. Narrating it in one go would make me want to drop this body right away, as my soul would flit away to merge with the Supreme Soul. And yes, for anyone who doubts it, let me give it to you in writing, even if you find it impossible to believe, I can drop my body at will in under 7 minutes. I have always understated everything about me, particularly when it comes to what Om Swami can do. I find solace and joy in staying away from any limelight. I was a backbencher in school who enjoyed surprising the teacher than the student who wanted to be seen as the brilliant one by taking the first row. I've shied away from making any tall claims, even the ones that are perfectly legit. But this one time, allow me to put away my reluctance and say to you that I guarded my vision of Narayana, because without his holy remembrance, there is nothing left in me to live for. That is why it took me 7 years to write that down, and that is why I've not reviewed it after putting ink to paper. It's the first and the last time that I've penned my most cherished spiritual experience. While I am sharing the experience with you in this book, it's more like transferring it to the world. It is no longer with me. I've parted with the most important thing in my possession. The Kohinoor of my treasury will henceforth rest in a literary museum, this book, for you to see. The sanctity of any divine experience is compromised the moment we decipher and describe using our conscious brain. And yet, I figured I owed it to you. Why? I don't quite know, except that you may feel inspired to do what I did. To carry on in this world, I guess, I will now do what the world does, worldly things. So I may find some relevance in the world around me. Plus, more solitude, so I may be of use to you. Perhaps this is a price you and I must pay. My idea in this book is to relive my days of sadhana in the Himalayas, but with one key difference this time around. You are my co traveler. Abiding by my core value of truth, my plan is to have you accompany me on the most important journey of my life. How I lived, what sadhanas I did, what filled my days, what was going through my mind, and how I arrived at my truth. All of it, the whole 9 yards. Join me if you care to. Know that it's a rare opportunity, for I won't be embarking on another expedition like this ever again in this lifetime or any other. Come, pack your bags, and let's go. It's time. That's it. That was the prologue, people. Now, for the rest of the book, you have to wait till the end of the year or thereabouts. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me on this very auspicious day. And I hope you make the most of your life and your time, whatever it is. We often overestimate the time we have. It's just gonna fly before you know, as I wrote in my recent post. So I love you all very much. And as always, I'm just going to go through the screens one more time so I can see all the people from all over the world. Your love means so much to me. And like I said earlier as well, I think last year or the year before, I can't imagine, I don't think there is anything I wouldn't do for you. Uh, Maybe not a personal meeting, other than those things. I'm just joking. So I don't think there's anything I wouldn't do for you. Your well-being, your happiness, your success, your growth, your spiritual growth, your material growth, they all mean the world to me. And I guess I live through you. I fulfill all my dreams um, through you. So every time you are in pain, I don't quite like it. And every time you are happy and you've achieved something, you've accomplished something, I really feel that it's me who has accomplished it. And it's an incredible feeling. I don't think, even though, as you know, I write for a living, but even I am short of words to really put into words what it means to me. So, on that note, as I always say, uh, maybe many desires are always there that remain unfulfilled in human life. We always have something we want to finish, we want to get done, we want more. But despite all that, just remember, in one corner of the world, there is this person who I usually call Om Swami. You can call anything else, who only means well, who is always gonna watch over you to the best of my abilities. And your freedom means so much to me. So you're always free to pursue any path you deem fit, anything that makes you stronger, kinder, and a better human being, because the world could do with a bit more love, a bit more cohesiveness, a bit more togetherness, and we could do with less boundaries and less divisions and less hatred in the world. So I hope on your part, you will do your bit to make your lives increasingly better, and subsequently or simultaneously, this world a better place. So, as I was saying all this, I have already gone through all the screens, and it's sheer joy to see you all here again. And if there's anything I can do for you, please never hesitate to reach out. Since most of you are initiated or most of you are my disciples, so we have a bond we share, we have a method through which you can reach out to me. Probably you're not getting the answers you seek all the time, but hey, if you keep trying, you just never know when you will hit the jackpot. So, on that note, thank you very much. Have a great day or evening or morning, whatever your time is ahead. I love you all very much. And I'll just do the closing chant, and that'll be that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much again. Bye, everybody. Bye. Jai Shri Hari Mahadev Narayan. Bless you all.